All right, we're on part 8 here of episode 133, and this is going to be a little bit different. We don't have one solid thing we're going to talk about. Instead, we're going to throw out the Daniel Bryan segment that they've been mentioning is going to happen, and we're also going to try to speculate if they're going to add any other matches onto the card. So actually, let's do the second one first. I can only think of 2 other matches that could possibly be thrown onto this card. And right now, I'm getting the impression that neither one is going to be a part of it. Adam Rose versus Jack Swagger, which apparently they did that on SmackDown. So that's a huge reason not to do it anymore because they already just, blew that out of the water right then. And the other one is a WWE Tag Team Championship match between the Wyatt family and the Usos. It's a little weird to me that the Usos haven't had a title match or any match on a pay-per-view since WrestleMania. They didn't have one at Extreme Rules, and they don't have one booked yet for this one. So they should have gotten it, but it kind of seems like they decided to go with the Big E versus Potato match instead. So if they add any more matches, those are the only 2 that I can think of. And right now, I don't think we're getting either of them. So let's go around here, do this real quick, and then we'll do the Daniel Bryan stuff. Peyton, do you think they're going to add any more matches? And if so, which matches do you think they're going to do?
I think that we should still expect to see an Adam Rose Jack Swagger match. Just because you saw it on SmackDown, in fact, probably means that we're going to see it again, because very often that's exactly what they do. They do a match on SmackDown as sort of a tester, and then they do the match again on Raw or on a pay-per-view or what have you. Since nobody watches SmackDown anyway, they know that, so it's just sort of a practice space. The tag match I'm a little less likely, I think, is a little less likely to happen. If I saw another match happening, I would actually expect a Bo Dallas match, maybe like a Bo Dallas Zack Ryder or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about Bo Dallas. That might end up being a good filler match that they throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel, do you think they're going to add any more matches?
In terms of the tag team matches, I hope so, because that'll give me points with the Usos. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. In terms of the Adam Rose matchup, I could see that happening because this is right around the time where they start shoving people like that onto pay-per-views. So they'll probably have a segment where he comes out dancing and then it turns into an impromptu matchup. But I think there's more of a guarantee of the Adam Rose match than of the tag team title matchup. In terms of Bo Dallas, I don't know. I would probably give them Adam Rose more time on the pay-per-view than I would Bo Dallas. I think Bo Dallas is going to be fine just doing his thing on SmackDown and Raw. So I think that's the case.
Sean?
As a Rosebud, I am hoping for an Adam Rose match with Jack Swagger. I don't watch SmackDown. Who the fuck watches SmackDown? But yeah, Adam Rose versus Swagger, and Adam Rose wins. Because he is not a lemon. He is a Rosebud.
Did he win on SmackDown, though?
I think he did.
Spoilers. Shh.
Yes.
So I guess he's... Well, that usually means if they win on SmackDown, then they lose on the pay-per-view. So I can see Swagger maybe getting his win back on there.
You run your points.
Wrong.
Well, what do you think is going to happen, Leo?
If Adam Rose does end up fighting Jack Swagger, which I could see on the pay-per-view, definitely Adam Rose wins. They've got no intention or direction for Jack Swagger, and if it fills up a 5-minute spot, that's what they'll do. The only match that I'm confident that we're going to see that hasn't been announced is a tag team title match, and I see the Usos dropping the belts to the Wyatts.
If they do have that match, they're definitely dropping those titles, that's for sure.
And Miguel will cry.
Yeah.
And I will be very happy since I have Erick Rowan on my team.
And Sean will also be very happy.
Yeah, Sean will be going, why the fuck did I get rid of Erick Rowan?
For Del Rio, who he then immediately dropped for Zeb Coulter.
What the fuck was that, Sean?
Fuck Del Rio. Yeah, I just see Daniel Bryan
somewhere.
versus Del Rio as for the WWE Championship in this match. In this fucking pay-per-view, even.
So the Daniel Bryan situation, they said that they're going to do an in-ring segment and Daniel Bryan has to either vacate the title and completely surrender it or Brie Bella is going to be fired. I am really, really hoping, not just because of the Fantasy League stuff, but for Daniel Bryan and the WWE Championship in general, that Daniel Bryan's injury is not as bad as it could have been, and that what happens here is he somehow gets out of it with neither of those happening. Maybe Brie gets fired. Maybe she just takes some time off or something like that. I don't know. that would be okay. But obviously they would bring her back because this isn't a real firing. And I'm hoping that those little scoops reports that are saying that we're going to get a buried alive match at Money in the Bank will happen, because not only do I want to see a buried alive match since it's been a long time, but that would mean that not only is Daniel Bryan still the champion, but that he probably would retain, because I highly doubt Daniel Bryan would be losing a buried alive match against Kane and dropping the title to him.
I'm going to laugh if he ends up getting fired and all your points disappear.
It wouldn't be the first time I got completely screwed out of my champion on a fantasy league. God damn it, Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. So I'm expecting either Brie to get fired or for nothing to happen here and both of them to come out okay. If it doesn't happen that way, I won't really be too surprised, but I'll be disappointed. Peyton?
As far as Daniel Bryan, I think that they're just going to drag this out as long as possible. If they have to use Brie Bella as a casualty, it's no big loss. I mean, I can't imagine that they're going to cut her off of the new Total Divas. They probably already have that man. So how are they really going to fire her then? I guess that's not going to work out too well if that's their plan. So I don't foresee Daniel Bryan losing this. I think they're just going to stall as long as they need to for Daniel Bryan to be ready. They already invested way too much into this story. If they just got to delay it for a few months, then so be it. They can pull it off when they got guys like The Shield and Cesaro and Bad News Barrett and all these other cool people, the Wyatt family coming up in the wings. They can distract people. They've done it before with Austin. They can do it with Daniel Bryan.
Miguel?
In terms of the Daniel Bryan situation, part of me kind of wants to see him drop the belt, because I've always wanted to see them pull a Royal Rumble 92, I believe it was, where instead of having the Money in the Bank briefcase, they just put the belt on the line. And then you could have one big star-studded matchup, because this year's going to be, I believe, the first Money in the Bank where it's just going to be one matchup, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have the world title anymore.
Unless you just have two briefcases and one belt, I thought that'd be cool.
No, I think it's just going to be one matchup itself. So you've got to go all out with this one. And correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coincide with the renewal schedule for the WWE Network? Like, doesn't the first 6 months end around the Money in the Bank pay-per-view?
I don't know.
I think it might be SummerSlam.
I figured it was Money in the Bank because it was
the
6 months.
The first pay-per-view was WrestleMania.
But didn't the network actually pop up the night after Extreme Rules, right?
Yeah, it was the night after Extreme Rules.
Yeah, so it's
Elimination
March,
Chamber.
April, May, June.
Or yeah, Elimination. Whichever one was an E around WrestleMania.
It might be either at the end of July or the beginning of August. So I would think they would want to load up Money in the Bank as much as possible to sweeten the renewal fee deal. So I can see them maybe wanting to do that, maybe wanting to set up a huge matchup for that to get people to sign up. In terms of the actual stipulation of whether or not Brie Bella gets fired or not, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they filming the new season of Total Divas at this point?
Probably, yeah. I know that they just announced that Rosa Mendez is going to be a part of it, so they're at least planning it right now.
Yeah,
but they might still just be in pre-production.
In terms of this, if that's the case, it sounds to me like they just need to get her off TV to do some filming. But there's no guarantee that he's going to get rid of the title anyway, especially if they are planning on doing a Buried Alive matchup. So I honestly don't know where to go, but if it were me making the decision, I'd just take the belt off of him. If he is going to be injured and can't do much, you got to do it. And it's unfortunate because of what Bryan has been through. And I just have this sinking feeling that as soon as they take the belt off of him, it's going to be a long time before they get him back into that position. Hopefully WWE doesn't do that like they did with guys like Fandango and Ziggler. So I'm indifferent on it, but if it were me, I'd say he drops the title.
Sean, what do you think's happening with Daniel Bryan?
I don't particularly give a shit. I need a piss.
Lego?
I really hope they just delay this storyline with Daniel Bryan dropping the belt. I really hope that they can hold it off for a month so he can defend the title if the injury isn't that bad. If the injury is as bad as some people are making it out to be, then I hope I just guess they have to vacate it and put it up for grabs in Money in the Bank. Either way, can we just fire the Bella?
You don't like her?
I don't like any of the Bellas. I think they both suck.
I think that they've been doing a hell of a lot better than they used to be.
Yeah. Well, they was doing absolutely shit. It's not hard to do better than absolutely shit.
I think the best thing they ever did was just being arm candy for the Raw special guest GMs.
Yeah, they're both horse-faced slags that can't fucking work. Get rid of
Ouch.
them.
Actually, I would think Brie is probably a little bit better in the working regard. She is being trained by Daniel Bryan himself.
Yeah, she's better at working than someone who is shit. It's not hard to be a better worker than shit.
And she's all right. She's a B plus worker, I think.
No,
See the reference there?
she's a
I'm back.
D plus.
She's a Brie plus.
Brie.
Oh, that's gonna. Isn't that a move that she does?
It
I
should
hope
be.
not.
It should be
Yeah.
her version of the knee plus. Why not?
I could honestly
Maybe
see that.
her version of the knee plus can be the one that happened to was it Cameron, where she just got her fucking eye slammed with the eye.
No, that was Naomi because she had the eye patch.
No, it's Naoma.
Yeah, get it right. It's Naomi.
Cameron. All right, guys, tell us what you think should happen with the Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan situation, and if you think any other matches are going to be added on the card. And if they are, obviously we'll review them at the next episode of Smack Talk when we review everything else. And we're going to move along here. Last man standing match in the next section, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena.